Hello everyone, I'm Shorty from Iron Resurrection, and if you ain't watching Rides Done Right, you ain't watching shit.
Good day everyone, this is Greg Meyer with Rides Done Right. We're at the Portland Roadster Show, the 63rd annual Portland Roadster Show. This is 2019. This is one of the longest running roadster shows in the nation actually. And we have the privilege of having Tim Kerrigan here and Leonard Lopez with Dominator builder as the builder of this car. It's a 33 Ford Roadster called Timeless.
Yes.
And this car has it's competed for America's Most Beautiful Roadster Show at the Grand National Roadster Show, and it's gone on to Sacramento, and it went to Boise and won Best of Show there.
Yes.
And now you're looking for a repeat here in Portland. It's well deserving. It's an amazing car, an incredible build. So what brought you to this point with this car? How did you?
Well, originally I've had this car for about 19 years, and I purchased the car in '99, and we did a soft build on it back then in the early 2000s, and then the car sat for 10 years, and I don't know how he did it, but Leonard talked me into redoing it. And so for the last 3.5 years or so, this is what we've been doing, and this is what it looks like. So.
Wow! So just 3.5 years. That's an amazing amount. That's a huge amount of work. So all that body work and all the stuff that you've done to that was because it wasn't this way.
No. We changed everything.
Okay.
I mean, basically, headlights, taillights.
Was it more of a stock size and stuff?
It was similar, but not anywhere near to the level that we wanted to take the car.
Okay.
It was a driver. I drove it. I showed it a little bit, but like I say, then we stored it for about 10 years and go, rather than buy another car, let's redo this one.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
All right. So, the amount of work I have to ask you. I mean, describe some of the things. It's an amazing.
Doing work for Tim, we really have to make sure that it's a workable piece from beginning to the end. It's not something that we can just shine up and it looks good. So it's got to be the performance-wise, the suspension's got to be correct, the motor's got to run right, make a lot of horsepower, it's got to handle good, it's got to ride good, and it's got to be comfortable to drive.
And you overlooked nothing. Every detail, the parts themselves, like the suspension parts. I was crawling down there taking pictures yesterday, and I didn't see like a Kugel or Heights or anything. I saw Dominator stamped on those parts. Those are your own parts.
Yes, pretty much. With something like this at this level, you have to make as many pieces as you possibly can. So I mean, that's all the suspension pieces. And if you notice all push rod suspensions, that's a little unique. And a lot of guys will think, well, what's the difference about that? It just makes the ride so much better with that because we can get so much travel on the shocks. And the same thing did at the front and the back. And then it's a double control arm rear independent suspension. Not normally to have, but performance-wise, you can't beat them.
Yeah. So how is the ride? I mean, their performance. They're meant for the racetrack, right? How are they on just kind of street run?
Well, it's really good because basically on a regular suspension, say hot rod suspension, you only have maybe 2.5, 3 inches of travel, but that's all the travel you have on the shock. See, with the push rod, we can change all that, so it's getting full travel from top to bottom. So that's how you can run a car a lot softer than typically and get away with it.
Okay. And then the thing that strikes you right away for this car is just how long it is, and it's nothing like stock. What are the changes there?
Well, how that came about is Tim chose the twin cam Cobra motor, which is a lot wider. It's a double overhead cam. So but he didn't want to bubble the hood. So we basically had to make the car fit around that. So it ended up being quite a bit longer, but then to make it look like it's not obvious what it is, that's why it's wider. The doors are longer, the quarter panels are longer, the hood is longer, so it just doesn't jump out at you. And when people come to us and they say they don't realize it's longer, that means we did our job right.
Yeah. No, it just looks, stretched like elegant, and that's
Right.
well, that's the first thing that comes
Right.
to mind when you see this
Right.
car is how elegant it
Well,
looks.
my whole idea from the beginning was to keep it as a 33.
Yeah.
I wanted it to look like a 33 Ford. We changed every panel on the car, but we kept that visual effect of an original 33. So I'm really happy the way that came out. I mean, it's beautiful.
So, did you have any specific requirements, going into this?
Well, of course I did. I told Leonard he had to do it right. But other than
Well, you got the right guy to do it.
yes, I realize that. But no, we worked together on it. I mean, I'm the type of person that I know what I like and I know what I don't like, but I'm willing to make a decision instead of, hit-hawing around about it.
Yeah.
And this is what we ended up with, and it's a performance-driven car, which is the best thing about it.
So it sounds like you had a pretty good idea. You weren't going to just turn it over to Leonard and say, do whatever you want. Some people do that, that's fine, but I'm not that way either. You had decisions. It sounds like you guys worked really well together. I mean, look, you're still friends and you're talking to each other. You're here.
Yeah, for now. No, I'm just kidding. But the one that really helped us too was Eric Brockmeyer. Eric did the rendering of this build, and he did a beautiful job, as you can see, with the upholstery, the tail lights, headlights, which are all handmade. He was a big part of the build. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He does a beautiful job.
It does help to have that drawing, that map to go by, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So what was the biggest challenge for you?
Probably the body, trying to make the body where the wheelbase is no big deal, just make it longer, but the body, making it all proportionate correctly. So Paul Blatt, that works for us, is a great guy. He's a little older, but he's done a lot of steel work on cars, so he's really good at just making everything look right. And that's a matter of you have to put it together, roll it outside, look at it, and no, it needs to be a little bit. And that's how you do it. But Tim's been a great customer. He understands that's what we got to go through to get the job done right.
Right. Okay. And then some of the other, I was asking you yesterday about that because you went like for the fenders. You didn't go for undercoating. You have a double fender panel. Yeah,
Right.
So that you can keep it show looking under, and it won't get rock chips or stars on top.
Right. Yeah, no, that was a great idea that Leonard came up with, and it just, because these fenders are so dynamic and long and swoopy, that it really made a difference on the undercarriage of this car, how it looked. So.
Yeah. So what's your plans with the car?
Well, I'm actually going to drive it. We're going to Del Mar here in a couple weeks for the Good Guys show down there, and I'll be driving it. So it is definitely a driver, and just how Leonard described the handling and everything, and then of course, we've got that 4.6 Cobra R overhead cam with a supercharger on it, so it's definitely a performance car too. I'm into performance. I like horsepower, and so I was not going to put a small block Ford in there or whatever. I wanted horsepower, so it's just a complete car, and that's why I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. So what? Speaking of the motor, so what drew you to that?
Well, I was working with Ford Motor Company and had some people back there that I dealt with, actually through the company, Redline Oil. We did a lot of work with the R&D people back at Ford, and I was fortunate enough for them to, this is one of those hand-built signature motors, and then of course we made all the modification, polishing the block, everything that we could possibly do to it, making the covers for the valve covers and everything is all handmade. So it turned out as a beautiful piece. It's actually like 3 inches wider than a big block Chevy. So boy, stuffing this thing into this 33 was a project. But once again, it came out beautiful. And then we put Imagine 8-stack injection on it. And that's really came out nice too. So all handmade.
Yeah. So, and then let's look at the interior. So when you have custom gauges, you have this beautiful leather two-tone. Tell us about that. Who did that?
Yeah, well, the gauges are classic. They do a wonderful job. It's a beautiful design that they came up with. The upholstery, Sid's did it. A fellow named Alex actually did it, and he did a beautiful job on it. And he basically copied the rendering that Eric Brockmeyer built, and we just love the color between the car and that.
Yeah.
And the paint on this car is amazing. And I don't want to miss Steve Martinez.
Okay,
Steve Martinez painted this. I think he's got 40 years of candy painting, and we did about 20 layouts, you know, trying to find the color. And it's really cool because he was allowing me to work with him, and we came up with this combination, and it's been incredible.
That's a unique thing about candies. There's so many layers that come into it that you can see through. Right. You can change it and tune it to exactly what you want, right?
Yeah, and he did a beautiful job. I think we've already won 2 Best of Paints at different shows, so obviously they're liking it too.
Yeah. Well, candy gives you more. It's so much harder to do.
Yes.
You get extra points
right.
from the ICA, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, you do, actually.
Okay, well, thank you. Are you a judge?
I've talked to judges about this, actually.
Okay.
Because I have candy on mine, so they're like,
yes,
you
do.
But it's an absolutely beautiful car. Congratulations on not just the car, but all the winnings and just getting out and having a friendship still, you know?
Yeah, no, it's great. And the thing is, too, we have to give all of the crew at Dominator a lot of respect for what they did. I mean, these kids work night and day on this car, and they're the ones that build it. I went to work every day, but there's the ones that built it, okay?
Yeah. So, again, just amazing. Congratulations. I hope you just kill it, you know, just take everything from here.
Well,
are you on Hot August Nights?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
I've got two more shows that I'm committed to, and then from there we'll see where we go.
Okay.
So.
Well, hopefully we'll see you there.
Well, thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for coming out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And an amazing car. These are the type of cars that you'll see at any of these shows. So come out and see them. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay. $10,000 in the Grand Sweepstakes Cup Award